So this is the original opticoupler, otherwise known as the roach. Amp guys call these things roaches. Technically it's an opticoupler. That's the original one from Fender. And this is the one that I put together yesterday with a light dependent resistor and an LED and some heat shrink tubing. These are what the LDRs look like, light dependent resistors. They're just I ordered them from amplifiedparts.com, I think it's called, and these were advertised as ones that work in Morley pedals, which I'm not even 100% sure what that is, but it's an oscillating circuit, and so I figured those would probably be right. And initially this one did not work. I was getting flashing light with this one. When you turn up the speed, the light flashes faster, and it makes the light dependent resistor oscillate the voltage to make that tremolo effect. Anyway, this one was giving me no output or no wah 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 sound. This one was also flashing, although faintly, and giving me no output. And then I built this one, which I showed you earlier, and this one is working. And the difference was the LEDs. The LEDs made the difference. I'm looking for the ones that I got. I don't know. I got a box of LEDs around here somewhere. Anyway, what I wound up getting were ultra bright or high intensity LEDs, whereas the one I used here was just, I guess, a normal LED, just wasn't bright enough to make this thing oscillate. So let's hear that tremolo working, eh? Okay, so I'm probably going to have to put the phone down somewhere to let you hear this thing, but I don't know if you can tell or not, but with the volume all the way down, this amp has barely any hum whatsoever. This thing is quiet as a mouse. Of course, you're going to get some hum when you turn the volume up, but of course, as I turn the guitar away from the amp, that goes away. And then I've instead of having a foot pedal for the vibrato, which this amp would have originally had, I just have an RCA plug here where I twisted the ground wire and signal wire together, soldered them, and heat shrank it on there. So, just kind of keep that plugged in there, and whenever I want tremolo, I can plug it in. So you can hear no tremolo now, of course, but if we give it a little intensity, you can already hear some tremolo happening. And then as we turn the now you can really hear it doing its thing. That's super fast, and that's how it was designed. And I'm told that if you change these two 0.01 capacitors to 0.022 capacitors, you can slow this down. But frankly, I don't even use it that much and don't plan to use it that much. My reverb knob is chipped. It has been for years. I don't really plan to use it, but it was driving me crazy that it didn't work. So, I don't know, I'm just that way. I needed it to be well, not necessarily perfect, but working well. So, I don't know, try and set this phone down here, and a little demonstration, I guess. So yeah, well, they call it the vibrato channel, but that's it's a tremolo circuit. They should have called this the tremolo channel, but anyway, reverb tank is currently unplugged because this thing is up on the bench and I don't have reverb cables long enough to get down to that tank. Or I do, but it's a pain in the ass. So I know the reverb works. I'm not worried about that. So yeah, I had tried chasing just about every... I tried chasing everything in this tremolo circuit before I just, replaced the roach here. And everything I was reading said, replace the roach. And I was like, no, I'm going to agonize over this and study the schematic and test continuity between here and there and do this and do that. And, just yesterday I started screwing around with making my own optic coupler. And you can buy these for like $8. But hey, it's so much more fun to do it if you make your own and, just that sense of accomplishment. Tremolo works. Now when I put the amp back in the cabin and I can turn these knobs down and probably barely ever use them, but that's okay. So this is the only thing I have left to do here is I'm going to add some of those multimeter probe ports on either side of this outlet here, or where I removed the ground switch, I may enlarge that hole and put the multimeter probe ports there and then tie those ports to these 1 ohm resistors so that I can monitor the bias voltage, or the monitor the current across the tubes whenever I want to, so I can adjust the negative DC voltage, which that's the negative DC voltage pot right there. And then on the underside of the amp, you can stick a screwdriver up in there and adjust the negative DC voltage. And when you adjust the negative DC voltage up or down, it'll increase or decrease the current across the tubes. And that way, if you change tubes or if you want to run it hotter or colder, you can do it without taking this whole thing out of the chassis to take those measurements. Anyway, that's it for now. This one's a wrap. She's going back in her case, and I'm really happy with this. I've had this amp for years, and I've always had crackling, popping, humming. Tremolo didn't work. A lot of things that were nagging me, and have now been corrected. I learned a ton from diving into that twin reverb amp. I would have been smarter probably to start learning with this one, but like I've always liked to do, I dove into the deep end of the pool first and figured a lot of stuff out. And after servicing and making some improvements to this one, I now have some things I want to go back in and take care of with the Deluxe reverb, which I'll get to eventually. The Deluxe reverb, the tremolo is working, but it ticks. And then I figured out that if you put this I believe that's a 0.01 capacitor across the two legs of the roach here, the ticking goes away. So anyway, just a few little minor improvements I want to make to the twin, but I'm putting it back in the case, and I'm not going to work on amps for a few weeks now. I got a couple of other effect pedal projects that I want to do, and then a guitar project that I want to do. So that's all the amplifier jackassery for now, unless something breaks, or unless I find a new amp that somebody wants to sell me real cheap. All right. Thanks for listening. See ya. Bye.